Kevin had always known love like Alex was the kind that didn't just knock. It kicked the door down and demanded everything. They met at 18, two lost boys crashing into each other at a dingy Queens dive bar on a humid July night in 2015. The kind of summer where the air hung heavy with unspoken regrets and the faint promise of escape. Kevin was slinging beers for minimum wage, his dreams of art school buried under stacks of unpaid bills, and a father who thought faggot was punctuation. Alex? He was the wildfire, tall, lean, with sun-bleached blonde hair that caught the neon glow like a halo for sinners, and eyes the color of storm-tossed Atlantic waves. He slid onto a stool, ordered a whiskey neat, and flashed a grin that said he knew exactly how to unravel a heart. By closing time, they were tangled in the back alley, lips bruised and breaths ragged, the world narrowing to the heat of skin on skin. "Your trouble," Kevin murmured against Alex's neck, tasting salt and rebellion. Alex laughed, low and throaty, pulling him closer. "Baby, trouble's the only thing that feels real." That was the hook. Alex didn't just love, he ignited. They built a life in the cracks of New York, crashing on friends' couches in Bushwick, tagging graffiti murals under the Williamsburg Bridge that whispered their secrets in faded spray paint. Kevin sketched Alex in stolen moments, charcoal lines capturing the curve of his hip, the defiant tilt of his chin. Alex worked odd jobs, bartending at underground raves, hustling vintage vinyl at flea markets, always chasing the next high, the next score. "We're gonna make it out," he'd say, tracing Kevin's knuckles as they lay on a threadbare mattress, city sirens wailing like distant lovers. "Big house in the Hamptons, you painting sunsets, me mixing drinks for the stars." But New York had teeth, and by 25 those teeth sank deep. Alex got mixed up with the Syndicate, a shadow network of high rollers playing a game called the Dawn Chase. It started innocent enough. Underground poker nights in abandoned lofts where bets escalated from cash to favors, then to lives. The rules were simple, brutal. Contestants drawn into a citywide hunt at dawn, pursued by hunters for 24 hours. Win and you claimed a fortune, debts erased, dreams bankrolled. Lose? You vanished into the river, or worse, became the hunter for the next round. Alex thought he could game it, charm his way through like he did everything else. "It's just one run, Kev. For us." Kevin begged him not to. Nights blurred into arguments that ended in desperate makeups, bodies colliding like waves against concrete pilings. "This city's eating us alive," Kevin pleaded once, his hands fisting Alex's shirt in their tiny Ridgewood apartment, the walls paper-thin and vibrating with neighbors' fights. Alex's eyes softened, that goddamn vulnerability cracking through. "Then let's feed it something else." He kissed Kevin then, slow and deep, like a promise sealed in blood. The first chase was a blur of adrenaline and terror. Alex emerged at dusk the next day, pockets lined with Syndicate cash, grinning like he'd cheated death itself. They blew it on a weekend in the Catskills, hiking trails dappled with autumn gold, fucking under star-pricked skies, whispering futures that tasted like freedom. But the high faded fast. Debts piled. Kevin's mom's nursing home bills after her stroke, Alex's sister's rehab stints. The Syndicate whispered sweeter deals, bigger pots, faster outs. Alex dove deeper, each chase carving lines around his eyes, turning his laugh brittle. By 28, Kevin was sketching ghosts. Alex's absences stretched from hours to days, explanations laced with half-truths. "Just tying up loose ends," he'd say, collapsing into bed reeking of smoke and stranger's cologne. Kevin's jealousy festered, a quiet poison, but love like theirs? It was a chain, not a cage. He confronted Alex one rain-lashed night in their kitchen, the fluorescent bulb buzzing like a trapped hornet. "Who's he? The one you come home smelling like?" Alex's face crumpled, not in denial, but defeat. "It's not what you think. Marcus, he's connected. Says he can get me out clean if I run one last chase. Double the pot. We could leave, Kev. Start over in California or hell, Portland. You and me, no more ghosts." Marcus. The name slithered into Kevin's nightmares. A Syndicate enforcer, all sharp suits and sharper smiles. The kind of man who collected loyalties like poker chips. Kevin had seen him once, at a post-chase party in a Tribeca penthouse, his hand lingering too long on Alex's shoulder, eyes promising things that twisted Kevin's gut. "He's using you," Kevin spat, voice raw. "And you're letting him." Alex surged forward, pinning Kevin against the fridge, their breaths mingling hot and furious. You think I don't know? But this is our shot. I do this, we're free. His lips crashed down. A kiss that tasted of desperation and goodbye. Hands roaming like they could map a way out. They made love right there on the linoleum, slow and shattering, bodies arching in silent pleas. Afterward, tangled and spent, Alex whispered, I love you, Kev, more than the game, more than the city. Believe that. Kevin believed God how he did. But belief doesn't stop the wolves. The final chase loomed like a guillotine. Alex drew the mark. A high-stakes run through Manhattan's veins, starting at the Battery, ending wherever the hunters cornered you. The pot, enough to bury their pasts and build something real. Kevin paced their apartment as Alex prepped. Black hoodie, burner phone, a switchblade tucked in his boot. Stay safe, Kevin choked out, pulling him into one last embrace, memorizing the scent of his skin, the steady thrum of his pulse. Dawn broke bloody over the harbor as the shotgun roared. Kevin had tailed Alex from the shadows, unable to let go, heart pounding in sync with the chase's distant horns. He found them in the warehouse district. Alex cornered by two hunters, syndicate goons with faces like carved stone. Marcus overseeing from a sleek black SUV. The blast was a warning, grazing Alex's arm, blood blooming dark on his sleeve. Time fractured. Kevin didn't think, he moved. Bursting from the fog, he tackled the nearest hunter, the man's bulk slamming them both into crates splintering like bones. Chaos erupted. Fists flying, grunts echoing, the second hunter drawing a Glock. Alex scrambled up, eyes wide with terror and something fiercer. Love, unfiltered. Kev, no. But Kevin was already yelling, take the boat. East River, go. He feinted left, drawing fire, the bullet whizzing past his ear like a lover's curse. Alex hesitated, a heartbeat of agony, then bolted for the derelict pier, untying a stolen skiff as Kevin fought like a man possessed. A knee to the gut, an elbow to the throat, the first hunter went down gasping. The second lunged, but Kevin twisted, sending him crashing into the water with a splash that swallowed his curses. Marcus stepped from the SUV, pistol gleaming, his smile ablade. Poetic. But the game's not over, kid. Kevin spun, chest heaving, blood trickling from a split lip. Alex's engine coughed to life, the skiff slicing into the mist. Their eyes locked one final time. Alex's pleading, Kevin's resolute. I love you, Alex mouthed, the words carried on the wind. Then he was gone, vanishing into the dawn's embrace. Marcus holstered his gun, clapping slowly, touching, but you just bought his ticket. Now you run his route. Finish the chase, or he washes up in pieces by noon. Kevin's world tilted, the weight of betrayal. Not Alex's, but the city's, the game's crushing down. He nodded, tasting bile. For Alex, he'd play. For them, he'd win. The hunters regrouped, engines revving like hungry beasts. Kevin sprinted into the labyrinth of alleys, pulse thundering, the first rays of sun painting the skyline in false gold. He was in it now, the dangerous game, his love's shadow clinging like a second skin. And somewhere across the water Alex was free, or so he prayed. The chase clawed at Kevin like a living thing, every shadow a hunter, every corner a trap. He darted through Dumbo's cobblestone streets, the Brooklyn Bridge looming like a steel sentinel overhead, its cables humming with the ghosts of 1,000 escapes. His lungs burned, Alex's blood still warm on his sleeve where he'd torn a strip to staunch his own shallow graze. For him, Kevin thought, vaulting a chain-link fence into a construction site, rebar skeletons rising like accusations. All for him. Marcus's voice crackled over the burner phone Alex had left behind. A twisted parting gift. Tick-tock, Kevin. You've got 20 hours to hit the checkpoints. First, Union Square. Don't make me send souvenirs. The line died, leaving static and the distant wail of a siren. NYPD, oblivious to the real predators prowling. Kevin hit the subway, blending into the morning rush of commuters with their coffee steam and vacant stares. He was just another ghost in the machine, hoodie up, eyes scanning for the telltale glint of a scope or the bulk of a tail. Union Square was a madhouse by 8 a.m. Protesters chanting for climate justice, street vendors hawking falafel wraps, a busker strumming Dylan like the world wasn't unraveling. The checkpoint was subtle. A red balloon tied to a lamppost, bobbing like a heartbeat. Kevin snatched the attached envelope, pulse spiking as a black sedan idled across the street, tinted windows hiding hungry eyes. Inside, a key, a map marked with the next leg Chinatown, then the High Line, and a note in elegant script. Run pretty for me. M. Kevin's stomach twisted. Marcus wasn't just playing, he was savoring. He thought of Alex as he weaved through Canal Street's throng, the air thick with dim-sum steam and bootleg DVD hawkers. That first summer, they'd wandered these alleys hand in hand, stealing bites of pork buns, laughing at the fortune cookies that lied about forever. "You're my lucky charm," Alex had teased, popping a cookie crumb from Kevin's lip. Now luck felt like a cruel joke. By noon, the High Line's elevated tracks became his gauntlet, tourists snapping selfies amid wildflower meadows, oblivious to the shadow slipping past. Kevin's burner buzzed. Coordinates for a dead drop under the 23rd Street stairs. He retrieved a duffel, cash, fake IDs, a Glock that felt foreign and heavy in his palm. "I hate this," he thought, tucking it into his waistband, the cold metal kissing his spine like a traitor's whisper. The afternoon blurred into evasion. A bike courier's detour through the village, dodging hipsters and dog walkers. A frantic sprint across Washington Square Park, chess hustlers scattering like pigeons. Hunters closed in twice. Once in a Soho alley, their boots pounding like war drums, Kevin losing them in a thrift shop's maze of racks. Again near the Flatiron, where he hot-wired a delivery van, a trick Alex taught him on a drunken dare, and peeled out, tires screeching hymns to survival. Dusk painted the skyline bruise purple as Kevin holed up in an abandoned tenement off the Bowery, the building's bones creaking like old regrets. He collapsed against peeling wallpaper, sketching Alex's face by flashlight. Those wave-blue eyes, now free, staring back from the page. Tears blurred the lines. "You better be halfway to the Pacific by now," he murmured, voice swallowed by the city's indifferent hum. Sleep came in fits, haunted by what-ifs. What if Alex never made it? What if Marcus's souvenirs were already en route? The burner jolted him awake at midnight. Midnight checkpoint. Times Square. Bring the duffel, or forfeit. Kevin's blood ran cold. Times Square. The neon heart of the beast, crawling with cops and cameras. A suicide run. He emerged into the witching hour, the square a fever dream of billboards and bodies. Tourists gawked at the naked cowboy, oblivious to the predator weaving through. Kevin spotted the drop, a newsstand kiosk, envelope under the counter. But as he reached, a hand clamped his shoulder. Steel grip, cologne sharp as regret. "Miss me," Marcus purred, spinning him into the alley's maw. Up close, he was sharper. Late 30s, chiseled like a Wall Street god fallen to vice, dark hair slicked, eyes gleaming with predatory amusement. Flanking him, two hunters, the ones from dawn, nursing bruises like badges. Kevin's hand twitched toward the Glock, but Marcus sked, pressing a Beretta to his ribs. "Easy, hero. We both know you'd miss." He leaned in, breath ghosting Kevin's ear. "Alex was always too soft. You? There's fire in you. Reminds me of me. Back when I had something worth losing." The words landed like hooks. "What do you want?" Kevin growled, hating the tremor in his voice. Marcus's smile didn't reach his eyes. "The game, darling, but with a twist. Deliver the duffel to the Empire State Observatory by dawn. Succeed and you're out. Alex too, if he's smart. Fail." He trailed off, glancing at the hunters. One smirked, cracking knuckles. "We collect." "Why me?" Kevin pressed, the alley's walls closing in, graffiti tags blurring. "Love wins," one mocked. "Because you chose him." Marcus's gaze softened, fractionally, a crack in the armor. "Love's the real danger, Kevin. It makes fools of us all." He released him, stepping back. "Run." Kevin bolted, duffel slamming his thigh, the square's lights fracturing into prisms. He rode the A train uptown, paranoia prickling. Every passenger a potential hunter. Harlem streets whispered secrets as he hoofed it to the Empire State, the building's spire piercing the night like a needle to the sky. The observatory was a ghost town at 3 a.m., wind howling through observation decks. Kevin placed the duffel at the marked spot, a bench etched with lovers' initials, heart hammering. Success? Or trap? Footsteps echoed. Not hunters, worse. A figure emerged from the shadows. Jamie, Alex's estranged brother, face gaunt under a Yankees cap, eyes hollow with junkie fire. Kev? Jesus, man. Relief warred with suspicion. Jamie, the black sheep who'd burned every bridge, including Alex's trust. What the fuck are you doing here? Alex sent me. Jamie's hands shook as he pocketed a syringe. Track marks weeping on his arm. Said if shit went south, I'd pull you out. Gave me this. He flashed a syndicate fob access key. Backup plan. Kevin's gut twisted. Alex's paranoia or paranoia? He's safe. Jamie nodded, too quick. California bound. But Marcus, he's not done. Wants the pot and payback. They descended, Jamie leading to a service elevator, babbling about redemption, a clean slate. Kevin half listened, exhaustion gnawing. Dawn crept, painting the skyline rose gold. Freedom tasted close. Then Jamie jammed the elevator, pulling a knife. Sorry, bro, he rasped, eyes feral. Marcus pays better. Family first, right? Betrayal bloomed, sharp as the blade's edge. Kevin dodged, fist connecting with Jamie's jaw, crunch of bone, spray of blood. They grappled, elevator dinging warnings, the knife skittering free. You sold him out, Kevin roared, pinning him. Your own brother. Jamie laughed, wet and broken. He sold us out first. Left me to rot. A knee to the gut winded Kevin. Jamie scrambled for the knife. The doors pried open, to hunters, guns drawn. Marcus lounged against the wall, applauding. Bravo. Familial drama, always a crowd pleaser. Jamie rose, smirking, complicit. The betrayal doubled, a gut punch. Kevin lunged, but bullets barked, pain exploding in his shoulder. He staggered, vision tunneling. Game over, Marcus mused, holstering his piece. Not yet, Kevin gasped, world fading to black. But in the void, Alex's face lingered. Love's anchor, pulling him back. Kevin woke to the sting of antiseptic and the low growl of tires on asphalt. His world reduced to a haze of pain and the sway of a moving vehicle. His shoulder throbbed, bandaged crudely, the copper reek of blood mingling with leather seats that screamed money. Marcus's SUV, no doubt, hurtling through the pre-dawn sprawl of the Bruckner Expressway, Bronx warehouses blurring into Jersey marshes. Welcome back, sleeping beauty. Marcus's voice, smooth as aged bourbon, cut through the fog. He sat across, nursing a tumbler, ice clinking like chains. The hunters flanked the doors, stone-faced sentinels. Jamie slouched in the corner, wiping his knife, eyes avoiding Kevin's glare. Fuck you, Kevin croaked, testing his bonds, zip ties biting wrists. The betrayal burned hotter than the bullet wound. Jamie, the kid brother Alex had bailed out a dozen times. Now the serpent in the garden. How long? Long enough for your boy to get a head start. Marcus swirled his drink, casual as a TED Talk on treachery. But not far enough. See, the game's evolved. You're the prize now, bait for the fish that got away. Kevin's blood iced. You touch him. Marcus laughed, a sound like shattering glass. Poetic threats from a man in zip ties? Adorable. He leaned forward, eyes locking. Predator assessing prey, or perhaps kin. Truth? I envy you. Alex. He burned bright, didn't he? Like I did once. Before the syndicate turned fire to ash. A glimpse of the man beneath. Scarred, maybe, by his own chases. Kevin filed it away, mind racing for leverage. Let me go. I'll run again. Double the pot. Tempting. Marcus's finger traced the tumbler's rim. But no. Dawn's breaking, you're Dawn. We're heading to the Palisades. Cliffside ceremony. You jump or we push. Either way, the game ends. The SUV veered off the interstate, climbing winding roads etched into New Jersey's cliffs. The Hudson River below, a silver serpent in the rising light. Kevin's mind flashed to Alex. That stolen Catskills weekend. Cliffs much like these. Their bodies slick with sweat and laughter. Promises etched in the earth. I saved you, he thought, a mantra against despair. Live it, for us. Jamie shifted, unease cracking his facade. This wasn't the deal, Mark. You said scare him, not... Shut it, Marcus snapped, but the edge was frayed. Jamie's knife hand trembled. Guilt or withdrawal? Kevin seized it. Jamie, Alex forgave you every time. The overdoses, the thefts. Remember Christmas 22? He pawned his guitar for your bail. Kevin's voice steadied, weaving the thread. Don't make this your last fuck-up. Jamie's eyes flickered, humanity sparking. The hunters tensed, but Marcus waved them off, intrigued. Family therapy on the rocks? Proceed. The vehicle crested the Palisades, pulling into a overlook pullout. Windswept, desolate. The city a distant glitter across the water. Dawn painted the horizon in fire, mocking Kevin's namesake hour. They dragged him out, gravel-biting knees, the drop yawning black and endless. Marcus lit a cigarette, offering one. Kevin spat. What's your endgame? Collect souls for the fun of it? Survival. Marcus exhaled smoke, silhouette sharp against the blaze. Grew up in these parts, Jersey boy, foster kid hopping homes. First love? Some punk named Riley. We ran a chase together, thought we'd win the world. He bailed at dawn. Left me holding the bag. His voice dipped, raw. Syndicate owned me after. Now, I own the game. Empathy twisted in Kevin's gut. Mirrors of ruin. Then break the cycle. Let us go. All of us. Marcus's laugh was bitter. Cycles don't break. They grind you finer. He nodded to the hunters. Edge. They hauled Kevin up, wind whipping like accusations. The abyss calling. Jamie hung back, face ashen. Wait. Now, Marcus barked. But Jamie moved, lunging not at Kevin, but a hunter, knife flashing. Chaos erupted. Grunts, scuffles, the crack of a gun. Kevin twisted free in the melee, zip ties snapping on a rock, Glock tumbling from a fallen goon's holster. He snatched it, world narrowing to instinct. Bang, hunter down, clutching thigh. The second charged. Kevin fired wild, clipping shoulder. Marcus drew, steady, but Jamie barreled into him, knife sinking hilt deep. Marcus staggered, eyes wide, shock, not pain. You little. Jamie twisted the blade, whispering, for Alex. Marcus crumpled, blood pooling dark as betrayal's ink. The second hunter fled into the brush, engine roaring distant. Kevin rushed to Jamie, who slid down the rock face, shirt blooming crimson. Kev, tell him. Sorry. Clean start. Kev cradled him, tears hot. You did it, man. You're the hero. Jamie's eyes glazed, breath rattling out. A final redemption, small and savage. Dawn crested fully, sun gilding the cliffs. Kevin stood, Glock heavy, the SUV keys glinting in the grass. Freedom beckoned, but the game? It lingered, a shadow on the soul. He drove south, weaving through Jersey Turnpike traffic, shoulder screaming, mind a whirlwind. The burner buzzed, unknown number. He answered, dreading. Kev, Alex's voice, cracked with tears. Jamie called, said you. Oh God. Alive? Kevin rasped, throat tight. But the syndicate. Fuck him. I'm coming back. We end this together. No. The word broke him. You run. West like we dreamed. Portland. Paint the bridges. Mix the rains. Static hummed. Alex's sob echoing. I love you. That was the bet. The only one that mattered. Kev. Go. He hung up, hurling the phone into the river at the next rest stop, watching it sink like anchors. The city swallowed him by noon, back to Brooklyn, the warehouse district a scar. He burned Alex's sketches in a trash barrel, flames devouring memories, the smoke curling like ghosts. But one he kept. Their first, alley-kissed, eternal. Word spread in whispers. The dawn chase disrupted, Marcus gone rogue, the pot unclaimed. Kevin vanished into the underbelly, not as prey, but ghost. He bartended in shadows, sketched in secret, love a quiet ember. Months blurred. A rainy October night, a familiar silhouette in the bar door, blonde hair damp, eyes storm blue. Alex thinner, haunted, but whole. You came back, Kevin breathed, glass slipping from numb fingers. Couldn't paint without my muse. Alex closed the distance, hand cupping Kevin's jaw, thumb tracing the scar from that dawn. Their kiss was salt and storm, a vow renewed. But the game whispered, hunters in the periphery, syndicate eyes ever watchful. They ran that night, not from cliffs, but toward something fiercer, each other. Winter clamped New York in its iron fist by December. Snow drifts piling like unspoken griefs against the brownstones of Bed-Stuy. Kevin and Alex holed up in a walk-up off Nostrand Avenue, the kind of place where radiators hissed like old feuds and the super's dog barked prophecies at strangers. It wasn't Portland's misty idol, but it was theirs, a fragile fortress built on stolen moments and the ghosts they'd outrun. Kevin worked doubles at a soul food joint, slopping collards and cornbread to cabbies and night shift nurses. His shoulder a dull ache under the sling he'd ditched weeks ago. Alex hustled graphic design gigs on his laptop, freelancing logos for indie bands, his fingers flying over keys like they once did over Kevin's skin. Nights, they cooked, burnt spaghetti carbonara, laughter bubbling as sauce splattered the walls. "Remember that alley?" Alex would murmur, pulling Kevin onto the sagging couch, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces worn smooth by time. "Every damn detail," Kevin replied, nuzzling the crook of his neck, inhaling the faint citrus of cheap shampoo. Love, post-dawn, was quieter, less wildfire, more hearth. But the scars lingered. Alex's flinch at sudden noises, Kevin's nightmares of cliffs and crimson pools. Jamie's ghost hovered, a bittersweet specter. Alex wore his Yankees cap like a talisman, whispering thanks to the empty air. The syndicate's shadow stretched long, though. Whispers reached them via burner apps, safe houses compromised, old contacts vanishing. Marcus's death had cracked the facade. Infighting brewed, hunters turning on handlers in bloody boardroom coups. "They're unraveling," Alex said one blizzard-lashed evening, snowflakes melting on the window like tears. "But we're still marked." Kevin pulled him close, heartbeat sinking. "Then we fade deeper." He traced Alex's knuckles, scarred from that first chase. "Art show in the spring, your designs, my sketches. We go legit, build something they can't touch." Alex's eyes lit, that old spark. "Yeah? Title it Dawn's Fools." They laughed, sealing it with a kiss that deepened, hands exploring familiar maps. Making love in the half-light, it was reclamation. Slow thrusts, gasped names, the world shrinking to sweat-slicked sheets. "You're my escape," Alex breathed, arching, fingers digging crescents into Kevin's back. "And you're my dawn," Kevin whispered, shattering together, a quiet cataclysm. Spring thawed the city into bloom, cherry blossoms rioting along the promenade. Their show, cobbled in a Bushwick warehouse gallery, walls alive with Alex's digital collages of fractured skylines and Kevin's charcoals of shadowed lovers, drew a crowd. Hipsters sipped cheap rose, murmuring approvals. A scout from a Soho co-op eyed Alex's portfolio. "This could be big," she said, slipping a card. For the first time, big felt possible, not a gamble but earned. But fate, that cruel curator, had other strokes. Midway through the opening, as jazz hummed from a Bluetooth speaker, the door banged open. Not hunters, worse. Riley, Marcus's ghost from the past, stepping from the ether like a bad sequel. Mid-40s, silver threading his temples, face weathered by chases unrun. He clutched a worn leather jacket. Marcus's, Kevin knew instinctively, the air around him crackling with unfinished business. "You," Riley said, locking on Kevin, voice gravel from disuse. "Heard you clipped the king." Gallery chatter died, eyes darting. Alex tensed beside Kevin, hand brushing his in silent vow. "Who the hell?" "Riley." Kevin's throat dried. Marcus's confession on the cliffs echoed. "First love, bailed at dawn. Irony, thy name was Karma. What do you want?" Riley's gaze softened, tracing Alex like a memory. "Closure. Marcus. He never let go. Kept your file, kid, photos, sketches. Said you reminded him of us." He pulled an envelope from the jacket, thick with cash and documents. His cut of the pot, unclaimed. "For you too." Suspicion warred with pity. "Why now?" "Because games end." Riley's eyes glistened. "Tears or rain?" "I ran once. Left him to drown. Took me years to crawl back. But he was gone. He pressed the envelope into Kevin's palm. Don't repeat my mistakes. Build the life he couldn't. Alex stepped forward, voice steady. We're done running. Riley nodded, a ghost fading. Good. The syndicate's fracturing, feds circling. Dawn Chase dies with him. He turned, pausing at the door. Tell your ghosts I said sorry. The gallery exhaled. Buzz resuming tentative. Kevin pocketed the envelope, seed money, absolution. That night, they walked the bridge, city lights dancing on black water, hands clasped against the chill. He's right, Kevin said, wind tugging his collar. No more games. Alex stopped, pulling him into the railing's shadow, lips brushing cold. Just us. Portland in the fall. Deal. Their kiss warmed the night, deep and anchoring, the river murmuring approvals below. Summer scorched in, and with it reinvention. They packed a U-Haul with canvases and vinyl crates, the road west a ribbon of promise. Detours through the Finger Lakes, winery picnics, lazy fucks in wildflower fields, Ohio's Rust Belt diners, trading stories over pie. Each mile sloughed the city's grime, love unfurling like road maps redrawn. Portland greeted them with drizzle-kissed evergreens and craft breweries humming with flannel-clad dreamers. They rented a bungalow in Selwood, porch swing creaking under shared weight, the Willamette lapping nearby like a lullaby. Kevin's studio bloomed, sunlit loft, easels bearing portraits of Alex in repose, vulnerability etched in ochre and sienna. Alex landed a gig at a design firm, commuting on a fixed-gear bike, evenings mixing IPAs while Kevin painted. But humanity's arc bends gentle, not straight. One fog-shrouded morning, 6 months in, a letter arrived, syndicate stationery, sealed with wax like a death warrant. Inside, a photo of them at the show circled in red. Death's echo. Dawn calls. Panic clawed. We run again? Alex whispered, face paling. Kevin burned it in the sink, flames hissing defiance. No, we fight smart. He called Riley, traced via a whispered contact, a lifeline forged in shared ruin. Turns out, the feds had Riley's ear. Marcus's empire crumbled under RICO charges, hunters flipping like dominoes. The climax came quiet. A rainy Tuesday, unmarked van idling outside. Kevin spotted it from the kitchen, heart lurching. Alex! But Alex was there, arms wrapping steel. Together, they faced it on the porch, rain sheeting like veils. 2 men emerged, ex-hunters, faces gaunt with surrender. White flag, the taller said, hands raised. Syndicate's done. Bosses in cuffs. This, he tossed a thumb drive. Proof. For you. Kevin caught it, wariness thinning. Why? The man shrugged. Marcus saved me once. Ripple effect. They drove off, taillights dissolving in mist. The drive held dossiers, indictments, confessions. Kevin forwarded it anonymously, justice delayed but dogged. Fall leaves turned the backyard to fire, and with winter's hush, peace settled. Their first anniversary. Cantlelit deck, Alex's custom label on the wine, Dawn's promise. To us, he toasted, eyes shimmering. To surviving, Kevin echoed, pulling him down, bodies entwining under stars pricked like hopes. Love, tempered by fire, burned eternal, raw, romantic, unyielding. Years wove on. Gallery shows in Pearl District lofts, adoptions of rescue mutts with sloppy grins, quiet nights tracing constellations on bare backs. Kevin's scars faded to stories. Alex's laugh rang free. The game, a distant echo, humanized by choices, their defiant brushstrokes on fate's canvas. In the end, Dawn wasn't escape, but arrival. And in each other's arms, they found home. Not perfect, but profoundly theirs. A testament. Love wins, not with fanfare, but with the steady beat of 2 hearts, synced against the storm.